Ladies and gentlemen, it is patch day. This is Chris with Work to Game, and thank you guys so much for hanging out. I do want to thank our Patreons once again today. I'm sure you've caught that theme at the beginning of all our videos. Definitely thank you guys so much, and if you want to consider being one, it's in the description below. Now let's jump into 4.35, a continuation of Under the Moonlight patch 4.3. This has been long anticipated. This and 4.36 are some of the content that people have really been looking forward to. This is a very short patch, and if you guys haven't noticed the theme with patch notes, I'm always going to do the short version after Brian does the long version. So without any further ado, let's jump in. Now, there is not that much content added by this, but it is a ton of playtime. There is new side story quest. You got your Hildebrand back up, and then Heaven on High. That's the big reason 4.35 is going to take as long as it does. Knocking on Heaven's Door is the quest that starts that. That's going to be on the left side of Ruby Sea. You'll see it, and there's some sweet cutscenes, and then you'll jump on in. There's some new housing items. The otter there is a nice tribute to some of the early experiences in Heaven on High, so I think that's not going to be shocked. New Orchestran scrolls, new triple triad cards. A lot of this loot table is going to be tied to Heaven on High and the loot that comes out of the little bags that you get inside there. Now, there's some new emotes. There are new hairstyles. Rumors have it that some of that is going to drop from floors 31 or higher in Heaven on High. I haven't seen any of that drop yet. And then we have our new deep dungeon. Heaven on High has been added. Now, the requirement is that you are a battle class 61 or higher, so war or magic. Sorry, Carpenters. And this is an extension of Palace of the Dead. So you do need to have cleared Palace of the Dead 1 to 50. You do need to have done the 63 main story quest, and then you can be in a party of 1, 2, 3, or 4 players. And then you can enter right there on the north end of Ruby Sea. Now, this is going to be an alternate progression system, so you don't require any gear to jump on in. It really isn't anything like that. It's a totally alternate progression system altogether. So as soon as you're 61, you can jump on in. Keep in mind that if you use this to level from 60 to 70, because it is very, very quick, it is very good experience, that you won't have that gear coming out. So just keep that in mind when you come out of that, if you've leveled from that method and you weren't familiar with that same problem coming out of Palace of the Dead. Now, floors 31 and above are supposed to be the hard floors, and they really are. They absolutely beat the crap out of us today, and it's awesome how much harder it gets. So floors 1 to 30, nice and clear. You can always start at floor 21 and just do 21 to 30 over and over. The Palmanders, there's a couple of them that have changed, but most of them are just repeats of Palace of the Dead. Magicite is going to allow you to summon the primals. The basic ones like Ifrit, Garuda, Titan don't really shock you, but we actually have a clip up of me using Odin for the first time today, and when we used Odin, we got a little bit of a surprise. So that was exciting. There are some different status effects, things like Gloom, Pox, and all that is all back. There's some helpful NPCs. We came across the dog, and that was definitely a nice 4-minute buff. You just kind of go talk to them. The Accursed Hoard is your loot bag that you're going to get on the outside. Floors 1 to 30 is going to drop silver, 31 and above is going to drop gold, and then you can only have 2 save files, so you may have to hit that reset button to jump back in. Now, there's some rewards. That's going to vary. Basically, the theme is higher is better, and not a big deal there. And then you're going to be able to take those weapons on the outside. You'll be able to get those Aether Pool weapons. They look very, very cool, so hopefully we see a lot of that being glamored. There is a score. I don't know exactly how they're going to engage with that long term. We got our high score on our first run and then didn't beat it for the rest of the day, even though I stayed in there for hours on end. And then we jump into PvP changes, because for those of you that forgot, today is the beginning of our Big Feast Championship. So this is a big championship that's going to start getting your different kind of server groups and all that, and then the champions of each group is going to kind of get to go to FanFest for the finals. So take a look at these balances, if these affect your classes. Best of luck to each of you. And then we do have, some changes to the feast, just some minor adjustments. Didn't look like anything too big, but they're just getting us into preseason and starting the Feast Regional Championship 2018. The strongest team for Japan, North America, and Europe will be competing at those respective fan fests. So that'll be very, very cool. And then when it comes to new items, they said the new items will be added at a later date as far as the list. I think that's because they want to leave it a surprise, because we were continually surprised by the loot we got today. Some of it's very underwhelming. You're getting things like confetti. Other times you're getting loot that has been in the game before. I think I got a minion that was from Diadem. And then sometimes you're getting brand new stuff. So they're not being real clear on what that loot table is. New recipes, newer custom scrolls, new triple triad cards, new mounts, new minions, all kinds of new stuff tied to this new alternative progression system. There's been new achievements and titles. Obviously, a lot of that's going to be tied to the new content. And then there's now a warning for Domain Enclave. If you haven't been doing your donation box, it's really easy to do. Keep in mind that that percentage, it starts you out with 120%, but it goes up from there. I think people told me it gets to like 185%. So keep in mind that if you're using like silver tokens or platinum tokens or whatever to turn in, that it takes less and less of those as you kind of level that up. I haven't maxed mine yet, but I know some people have. I skipped it the first couple weeks because I didn't realize how easy it was to just use the little tokens that you get from your retainers and, you know, from Eureka and all that. And then there's been some bug issues. Didn't look like anything too crazy. Some known issues that they're saying, yeah, we got it. We're getting there. And that's about it. That's 4.35. I expect 4.36 to hopefully drop in, I don't know, let's say 2 weeks. And then we'll be ready for July 16th, our next live letter, and we'll be talking about 4.4. So that's it. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. This is Chris with Work to Game, and I will see you guys next time. Hey you! Especially if you're a new face, welcome to the workforce. If you want to hit that subscribe button to say you like us, we'd really appreciate it. But there's a little bell next to it if you really like a channel, and you can go ahead and hit that if you'd like to be notified. Be sure that if that thing lets you know, hey, do you always want to be notified, or you just sometimes want to be notified, that you tell it, oh man, I actually meant by notified, notified. So why don't you give that a click, and we hope to see you around in our next video.